So I'm just gonna walk by the camera to get started. Do you see how this works? I'm going to act out the phrasal verbs. So that was walk by, and you saw the word appear over here as I was doing it. So when you see something like a bench or chair, you can sit down, and after you have done that for a while, you can of course stand up. So sit down and stand up. Sometimes when I'm walking along, I trip and I fall down. So behind me here, you see a ladder. You can climb up a ladder. You can also climb down a ladder. You can also go up a ladder, and then you can go down a ladder as well. So it's a little bit sunny today, and I thought maybe I should put on a hat. But then when I came outside, it was a little cloudy, so I thought that I would take off my hat. So when we talk about vehicles, we usually get in a vehicle. So I'm going to get in my van. If I was done driving my van, I would get out of my van. There's also a couple of slang ways to talk about this, or less common ways, and that's to jump in. I can jump in my van, and then when I'm done driving, I can jump out again. I don't jump in or jump out a lot because I'm getting a little bit old. So even though we use get in and get out to talk about vehicles, we don't use it for airplanes, ships, and trains. When we go on an airplane, we say get on the airplane. And when we leave the airplane, we say get off. We also do the same for trains. You get on a train and you get off of a train. So once you're in a vehicle, you'll often drive away, which means to leave. And then when you return, you usually drive in. Sometimes when you're driving, you'll run over something. Oops, I accidentally ran over something. If you think I'm too close to you, you might want me to back away. So my truck is getting old and it's starting to fall apart. You can see all this rust here. It's all just falling apart. When I'm standing here, if I turn around, I'm able to see the river. If I turn around again, I'm able to see you guys. So you'll notice if I hold on to this pen, it stays right here. But if I let go, it falls down. I just picked it up. If I let go of this bike, it will fall over. Sorry, bike. By the way, we're about halfway. If you don't know who I am, I'm Bob the Canadian. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do that by clicking that red button below. And if you haven't given me a thumbs up yet, please do. Oh, look, a pen. So when you see something like this pen laying here, you can pick up the pen. If you don't want to keep it, you can put down the pen. You could pick up the pen and you could set down the pen. A lot of times before I go out, I need to pick out which jacket I'm going to wear. Should I pick out a gray one or should I pick out a blue one? I know whenever I pick out a shirt, I usually pick a blue one. Sometimes when you're talking to people and things aren't going well, you decide you just need to walk away. And sometimes it's nice to walk up to people so that you can talk to them. Sometimes when I'm sitting on the couch watching a little bit of television, I fall asleep. Then a little while later I wake up. Sometimes I decide that it's time to get up off the couch. Sometimes when I'm outside, I like to point out things that I want people to look at. If I point over there, you can see the river. In order for me to listen to the radio, I need to plug in this cord. And if I'm done listening to it, I can unplug it. That's not a phrasal verb, but that's what it is anyways. Unplug. So I'm not sure how many verbs we've done, but I think it's time for me to just sit back and relax for a little bit. Okay, now I might just sit up and pay attention. So I'm going to try and lift this cement block 10 times. So I'm going to get started. That means to begin. 1, 2, I think I'm gonna give up now. That means to quit. Sometimes my kids take out the milk and I get angry because they didn't put back the milk. If you leave the milk out, it gets warm. And eventually it starts to smell funny. I always put back the milk. When you get home from the grocery store, you need to put away the groceries. It's nice to have all your groceries in the cupboard, but when you're hungry, you need to get out the bread so that you can make a sandwich. So I actually borrowed these keys from Jen. When I go in the house, I'm going to give back the keys. I'm going to return them to her. Every once in a while, I need to fill up my van with gas. At night when it's dark, sometimes we have to turn on a light. When we go to bed, we turn off the light. Sometimes I like to hang up pictures on my wall, but sometimes they get old and then I take down the picture and I put a new one in. This is the volume button. I use this button to turn up the TV if I want it to be louder, and I use this button to turn down the TV if I want it to be quieter. So when it's this windy, sometimes you have to lean into the wind. Do you see how this works? I used the phrasal verb lean into, and the word appeared right here as I was acting out the phrasal verb. So I thought I would jump around on the trampoline for a little bit. My kids don't know I'm out here. I think I'm a little too heavy to be on this, but it's still kind of fun. When you're done jumping around on the trampoline, you can jump down. At the end of a long day, sometimes it's nice to just kick back. That means to relax at the picnic table. Sometimes your vehicle will break down and it won't start, and you have to take it to a mechanic to get it fixed. And sometimes the van isn't actually broken down. The problem is simply that you have run out of gas. Ooh. When you're riding a bike, you want to make sure you don't run into something like this tree. You want to make sure you look where you're going. So before I make my videos, I have to think of something to make the video on. I have to think up an idea. I have to come up with an idea. I'm sure you've had to do this before. You get a form and you need to fill out the form. You need to write down your name. You need to write down your address. You need to fill out the form. But sometimes you make a mistake and then you just want to tear up the form because you have to start over again. So maybe you need some firewood and you have a tree that you don't need anymore. You could chop down the tree and then you could use the wood for firewood. If I was going to chop down a tree though, I probably wouldn't use an axe. I would probably use a chainsaw. By the way, I'm going to do something a little bit dangerous here. If people were watching, I would ask them to stand back. I would ask them to stand far away so that they don't get hurt. After you chop down the tree, you can chop up the pieces so that you can use them in your fireplace. I kind of faked that. Those pieces were already chopped up. By the way, if you didn't see the last video I did on phrasal verbs, there's a link right up here that you can follow. You should go watch it. It was a lot of fun to make and a lot of people liked watching it. So I had a lot of these wooden pallets. So I thought I would stack up the pallets so they would take up less space. It's a little tidier this way. So I have some money here. I have quarters, dimes, and nickels. And if I take this money like this, I can mix up this money. Now it's not in nice stacks anymore, and I will need to sort out the money so that it's in nice stacks again. So in the last video, I showed you how my truck was starting to fall apart. You could also say that the truck is starting to come apart. When you have something that is falling apart, you can also say that it is coming apart. It's coming apart because if you have rust, the rust will eat away at the vehicle. The rust will eat away at the metal. So I'm not a thief, but if I wanted to break into this vehicle, I would probably use this crowbar and stick it in right here and pry to get the door open. I did mention I'm not a thief, right? I don't like to steal things. So we're about halfway through the video. If you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed, please click on the subscribe button. That's a phrasal verb, by the way. And if you haven't yet, give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. But I think it's time for us to carry on with the video. That means to continue. So it's pretty windy out today, and two things could happen to this pail. It could blow over, which means it goes from an upright position to its side. And it could also blow away, which means that the wind would just make it roll away. So if I'm not talking loud enough, you might ask me to speak up. When you ask someone to speak up, it means that you want them to speak a little more loudly. It is a fairly direct way to ask it though, so be careful. It's not exactly polite. If someone is standing too close, you might ask them to back up. You know what people really like? They like it when you give away money. If I took this money and I simply started to give away the money to people, they would love it. You would probably love it. It's not a lot of money though, it's just a little bit, but you would probably love it if I was to give away this money. So there's a little bit of water in the ditch behind me, so I wouldn't want to fall in the ditch. And there's a second way to say it. I wouldn't want to fall into the ditch if I, Just kidding. You know what I should do with this money? I should set aside this money. I should put it in a piggy bank. That's where little kids store money, and save it to buy something really nice at a later date. I should set aside this money. So my dog Oscar is faster than me, so I'm trying to walk really fast right now to catch up to him. So this is our old hot water heater. It doesn't work anymore. It's time to throw away this hot water heater. It's time to throw out this hot water heater. That means to get rid of it, to bring it to the dump. We, though, will probably recycle this. That's better than throwing out or throwing something away. So whenever I have a good idea, I like to write down my idea so that I'll remember it later. There we go. So when I put this shirt on this morning, I made sure to do up all the buttons. There, now they're all done up. So on a windy day like this, I'm glad I have short hair. Otherwise, I think the wind would mess up my hair. It's hard to mess up my hair, isn't it? It kind of just stays the same no matter what I do. So I know you're probably pretty good at math, and you know that some numbers come before other numbers, and some numbers come after other numbers. The number 1 comes before the number 2, and the number 2 comes after the number 1. So when you go to a store, like a hat store, you have to try on different hats to see which one you like the best. I think this one is my favorite. So on Saturday nights, I do a live stream right from this picnic table, and I get to hang out with some of you. That means I get to spend time with some of you. If you haven't come to one of my live streams yet, you should. It would be a lot of fun to hang out with you. Do you think I'm strong enough to lift up this bike? I think I am. I knew I could do it. So last week I let a bike fall over and it wasn't very nice. So this week I thought I would lay down the bike. I'll do it gently. There you go, little bike. So when you lose something, you have to look for it. That's what you do in order to find it. I'm trying to find a wrench that I need to fix something. Here it is. This is a wrench, by the way, if you were wondering. So sometimes when I'm trying to come up with an idea, I will look through a book to see if I can find something that I want to teach in English. You could also say I like to read through a book to find some ideas. So if I want to go in my van, I can open up the door. You can also just say open the door. I don't know why we say open up the door and open the door. It means the same thing. So if I step in this puddle, my shoe will get wet. But if I set it out in the sun, it will dry out. It's time to clean up. I need to wash up a little bit. I think I'll use this soap. My kids love it when I hand out money. I'm just going to wipe up some of the mess on this bench before I sit down. Act out is already your first phrasal verb for this video. When you act something out, you use all of your skills to demonstrate through actions what the word means. So hopefully I can act out these verbs really, really well for you. I think though, before we kick off this video, by the way, that's your second phrasal verb already. When you kick something off, it means that you start or begin it. But before we kick off this video, if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe by clicking that red button below. And as you watch this video, if it helps you learn a little bit of English, give me a thumbs up. So ever since I had heart surgery, I feel like it's very important to work out as much as I can. I usually lift some weights, but when I work out, I also do some walking and I do some running. You want to be careful though when you're working out, because if you work out too hard, you might black out. I'm okay. So my friend now from China gave me this gift, and I've been practicing quite a bit, and I thought today I would show off a little bit. When you show off, it's when you do something so that people will admire you. So thanks a lot for this gift. Now the whole family has been playing with it a lot. So this tire is a little bit flat, so I need to pump up this tire. In order to pump up this tire though, I need to bend over so I can reach down here. And I will put this on and I will pump up the tire. I don't want to pump it up too much though. If I put too much air in, the tire might blow up, and we don't want that to happen. So sometimes I need to pick things up that won't fit in my van. When that happens, I need to hook up my trailer. When I hook up my trailer, I can take it where I need to go and I can pick up really big things. So a couple of days ago, we had a really bad windstorm and it knocked some branches off this tree. Some though are still partially attached, so I'm going to have to cut off this branch because it's dead. Luckily though, the tree is still alive. I'm very happy about that because I certainly don't want to cut down the whole tree. So I'm really happy the tree is still alive. But when I look at this job, it seems like a lot of work. I wonder if I should call up my brother and see if he can come and help. I really hope though, when I'm cutting branches off this tree, that there aren't any bees. If there are, I might need to run away. You know, cutting branches off that tree was a lot of hard work. I might just nod off for a little bit on this bench. So sometimes we will have a hose across our driveway because we're watering flowers, but we don't want anyone to drive across it. So we will block off this area by putting a few things there that will stop people from doing that. Now the driveway is blocked off. So is there someone you know that you want to cheer up? Sometimes buying someone something will cheer them up. I highly recommend, if you need to cheer someone up, that you buy them flowers. These are called Lysianthus, if you were wondering, and these certainly cheer people up. Go kids, go! Run really fast! Sometimes my kids have races and I like to cheer them on. When you cheer on someone, it means to give them encouragement for what they're doing. Good job! So Jen grows a lot of different kinds of flowers, and every once in a while I come across a flower that I didn't actually know that we grew. This flower here, I think, is called a cosmo. It's really fun to sometimes come across new flowers out in the flower field. Come on, hurry up, run, hurry up. We need to get this video done fast because my kids want me to take them to the pool this afternoon. So I need to hurry up and I need to get this video done. So sometimes at work, we have events where we need to dress up, where we need to wear clothes that are a little nicer than our everyday clothes. Usually for a guy that means wearing a shirt and tie. But we have other days where we don't have to dress up, where we are allowed to dress down. Sometimes at work we have a dress down day where we are allowed to wear more casual clothes like a t-shirt. When you dress down, it means you wear clothes that are more casual than what you would normally wear. And if you're wondering, yes, almost every shirt I own has a little bit of blue in it somewhere. So the other day I threw my car keys in this box, and now I have to go through this box to see if I can find them. I need to go through this box so that I can find my car keys. So sometimes when my kids are outside having a snack, there will be a cat that will hang around. This cat's name is Tigger, and this cat likes to hang around because it thinks that some food might fall on the ground. This store has a great coupon that lets me get 50% off my next purchase. So I am going to cut out this coupon and I'm going to put it in my wallet. Well, it's lunchtime, so I'm going to cut up some cucumber. I like to eat cucumber every day, but I like to cut up the cucumber so that it's easier to eat. So after we use the flower pails once, we usually line up the pails to get ready to wash them. We need to wash the pails each time. So it's nice to line up the pails so you know what order to wash them in. So this is Jen's flower studio, and we put these lights in to light up this area. It used to be a little bit darker in here, and it was hard to make bouquets and it was hard to arrange flowers. So this light works really well to light up the area where Jen has to work. The first phrasal verb that I want to teach you that you can use at work is to run something by someone. Now, this does not involve running in any way. Instead, what this means is maybe you have an idea or you want to change how something is done at work. But before you can use that idea, you need to get permission from your manager or your boss. You need to run it by them. So in English, when you run something by someone, you go to someone like your boss or manager and you explain your idea or you explain what you want to change. And then they say, go ahead, sounds like a great idea. Or maybe they say, no, bad idea. So to run something by someone is to explain a new idea or a change you want to make, to seek their permission. The second phrasal verb that you can use at work is to look after something. At work, there are little jobs and tasks that need to be done, and the person who looks after something is the person who does that actual work. Sometimes at school, we go on field trips. In order to go on a field trip, someone needs to order a bus. Someone needs to call the bus company and say, we need a bus next week, Tuesday, for 45 students. So in a meeting, someone might say, I'll look after that. I will be the person who calls the bus company. I will do that small job or small task. So in English, when you look after something, it means you're the person who's going to do that job. So the third phrasal verb you can use at work is to fill in for someone. When you fill in for someone, you do their job for them because they can't make it to work that day, or maybe because they're sick. So maybe your boss comes to you and says, I know you have Saturday off, but can you fill in for John on Saturday because he can't make it in for his shift? At my job, sometimes the boss comes and says, can you fill in for Fred today? He is at home sick. So I might have to teach Fred's class as well as my own. It's a lot of extra work. So in English, when you fill in for someone at work, it means you're doing their job for them because they can't make it to work for some reason. The fourth phrasal verb that you can use at work is to reach out to someone. And this simply means to contact someone. Maybe you need to phone them or text them or send them an email. Maybe you work at a company that has offices in different parts of the world. And during a meeting, someone says, someone should tell the people in the office in France about this new idea. And you could say, oh, I'll reach out to them. That means you will contact them. You will give them a phone call, you will send them a text message, or you will send them an email and give them an update about some new idea that you were talking about. So in English, the phrasal verb to reach out to someone simply means to contact them. The fifth phrasal verb you can use at work is to deal with something. When you deal with something, it means you are going to fix something or solve a problem. Maybe two employees are fighting, they're arguing with each other. You could go and deal with it. You could say, hey, please calm down. Let's talk nicely to each other and get back to work. Maybe a machine has broken on the factory floor and someone has to go fix it. You could say, oh, I'll go deal with it. That means you're going to figure out what the problem is, and you're going to solve it. So in English, when you use the phrasal verb to deal with something, it means you're going to be the person that solves the problem or fixes it. The sixth phrasal verb you can use at work is to take on. When you take on something, it means you agree to do it. Sometimes people will call Jen and ask if she will provide flowers for their wedding. Jen needs to decide if she has the time and if she has enough flowers to take on that job. Maybe at your work, someone has called and asked your company to build 10 houses. You need to decide if you have the time and the resources and enough people to take on that project. So in English, when you take on something, it means that you agree to do it. So let's do phrasal verbs number 7 and 8 together. They are to fall behind and to catch up. When you fall behind, it means you're not getting enough work done. Maybe you need to have a job done by Friday and it's Thursday night and you realize you need 2 more days to finish it because you have started to fall behind. Then you need to catch up. To catch up means to work longer hours or to work faster to get a job done. This happens to me at school sometimes. Sometimes I fall behind in my grading. I have a stack of tests that I need to grade, and then I need to stay up late to catch up because I know that I need to get them done by the next day. So when you fall behind, it means a job isn't going as fast as you wanted it to, and you probably won't get it done on time. And to catch up means to work harder so that you do get something done on time. The 9th phrasal verb that you can use at work is to wrap something up. When you wrap something up, it doesn't mean you're putting wrapping paper on it like a Christmas present. It means you're finishing something. When I'm grading tests, when I get to the last test, I can wrap up my grading. I'm done all of my grading. When you're working on a project at work, when you get to the last 2 or 3 things, it's fun to wrap it up by finishing those last things. You'll hear me use this during my live English lessons as well. At the end, I'll say, okay, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to answer 1 or 2 more questions, and then we are going to hit the stop button. So when you wrap something up, it means that you're going to finish it. The 10th phrasal verb that you can use at work is to slack off. I do not like it when people slack off. If you slack off at work, it means you're not working hard or you're not working at all. When I was younger, I used to work with someone who would slack off all the time. I would be working really hard and they would just be sitting and drinking a coffee when they were supposed to be working. I do not like it when coworkers slack off. So in English, if you are at work and you see someone who's not working hard or not working at all when they're supposed to be working, you would then say that they are slacking off. The 11th phrasal verb you can use at work is to follow through. When you follow through with something, it means you do it from start to end. You are very diligent, you are hardworking, and you do a good job from the beginning to the end. It's very important when people order flowers from us that we follow through with the order, that we take the order, we communicate well, and we deliver all the flowers they wanted at the end. Jen has a very good reputation for being someone who follows through with all her orders. She doesn't ever cancel orders or forget things in her orders. She's very, very diligent. She's very good at following through. The 12th phrasal verb you can use at work is to point out. And this means to mention something or say something in a meeting or conversation. Maybe at your work you make boxes, and in a meeting someone says, we're going to produce twice as many boxes next month and sell more.
You might point out that the box making machines are really old and they might break more if the company decides to do that. Maybe someone says we're going to start selling our boxes in another country, and you might point out that that country has very strict import laws and it might be difficult to get the boxes to that country. So at work, if you point something out, it simply means that you say something or you mention something in a conversation or in a meeting. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson where I'm going to teach you some 3-word phrasal verbs. As if having 2-word phrasal verbs wasn't enough, we have some phrasal verbs in English with 3 words in them. And the first 2 that I want to teach you are to catch up to and to keep up with. Jen's going to help me demonstrate this. If Jen is walking and she is ahead of me and I want to be in the same place as her, I have to walk faster to catch up to her. Once I catch up to her, we can walk the same speed and then I can keep up with her. So if I'm behind, let's turn around and do it again. If I'm behind Jen and I want to be in the same place as her, I can walk fast to catch up to her. And then once I'm here, I can walk at the same speed and I can keep up with her. Hi, how you doing?
Good.
When you run out of milk, you have to go buy some more. I should show you the English side, shouldn't I? When you run out of milk, you have to go to the store and buy some more milk. Sometimes Jen and I find out that we don't have something anymore. Sometimes we run out of toilet paper. Sometimes we run out of milk. Sometimes we run out of sugar. So in English, when you run out of something, it means you had it and now you don't have any more and you need to go to the store to get some more. Another 3-word phrasal verb is the phrasal verb to get away with. When you get away with something, it means you do something you shouldn't do and you don't get caught. I'm going to try and get away with stealing this shovel from Jen. Hopefully she doesn't catch me. Oh, I wasn't able to get away with it. Jen totally saw that I was taking it. So sorry about that. Here's your shovel back. So I remember once when I was in school, one of my friends got in trouble for something that he didn't do. So I went to talk to the teacher to stand up for him. When you stand up for someone in English, it means that you defend them. You tell the truth about something that maybe they have been accused of and they didn't actually do it. So I do distinctly remember it. One of my friends said, the teacher is annoyed with me because they think I did this. So I went to the teacher and said, my friend didn't do that. I went and stood up for my friend. So another 3-word phrasal verb is the verb to get along with. When you get along with someone, it means you enjoy being around them. I think Jen and I have been married for as long as we have been because we get along with each other. Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. What is one of the reasons why you think we get along with each other so well?
Because I think you're funny.
I think Jen's funny too. I think we make each other laugh. Is that why we get along with each other so well?
Yeah.
I think so. I think we get along with each other because we make each other laugh. So when I was younger, it was more common for people to drop out of school at age 16. Not a lot of people did that, but some people would drop out of school in order to start working. Nowadays, people usually stay in school until they're done grade 12, at around age 17 or 18. And then maybe they go to college or university. But sometimes people don't do well at college or university, and they will drop out of college or drop out of university. So I think you get the meaning of that phrasal verb. To drop out of means to quit school in some form. Again, when I was younger, it was a lot more common, but these days, most people stay in school until grade 12. In order to teach English lessons on YouTube, I need to come up with ideas. In English, when you say that you need to come up with an idea, it means you need to think of something. You need to sit and think so that you have an idea for whatever you want to do. I like to come up with ideas when I'm bored. When I'm driving and when I don't have anything else to do, I try to think and I try to come up with an idea for the next English lesson. So hopefully this English lesson about 3-word phrasal verbs is a good one. It was fun to come up with it and it's fun to make it. Another 3-word phrasal verb is the verb to look forward to. Many of us enjoy our birthday and we look forward to our birthday. When you look forward to something, it means you're happy about something that's going to happen in the future. Often I look forward to New Year's Eve. I look forward to starting the new year. I look forward to my birthday. Well, usually I look forward to it. So in English, when you use the verb to look forward to, it means you're happy about something that's going to happen. You're excited about something in the future. Over the Christmas break, my kids were all home and it was really, really loud and I had to put up with a lot of noise. I don't like noise, but sometimes I just need to tolerate it. In English, when you use the verb to put up with, it means that you are going to allow for something to happen. You're going to tolerate it. Sometimes at school, during the last week of the school year, the students are quite loud, but I just put up with it. I don't tell them necessarily to be quiet because I know in a couple days the school year is going to be over. So when you put up with something, it means someone is doing a certain behavior, and instead of telling them to stop, you just let it happen. As a dad, I've put up with a lot of noise, especially when my kids were younger, but hey, that's all part of being a parent. Sometimes you have something that you need to do, but it might take you a while to get around to it. To get around to something means to find the time to do it. I usually get around to making my English lesson videos on Saturday or on Monday. Sometimes I don't get around to making it until late on Monday afternoon, and then it's a bit of a rush to get it finished. So to get around to something means to find the time to be able to do it. You might have the same thing in your life. There might be something important you have to do tomorrow or the day after, and you're just trying to find a way to get around to it. You're trying to find a way to find the time to get it done. Another 3-word English phrasal verb is the verb to come down with. When you come down with something, it means you're getting sick. Sometimes you come down with a cold the day before you have to write an English test. Sometimes you come down with a stomach flu and you're just not feeling very well. So in English, when you come down with something, when you use that 3-word phrasal verb, it means that you're getting sick. Well, hey, thank you so much for watching this English lesson about 3-word phrasal verbs. I hope you were able to learn a few more verbs that you can use in your next English conversation. Also, a big thank you to Jen for helping out. If this is your first time here, don't forget to click that red subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and if you have some time and you want to learn some more English, there's always more English lessons to watch. Bye.